17 to 29, 268, a touchdown. Not as efficient as we saw through the regular season, but makes a fantastic throw at a key moment in this game as the New England Patriots get their first playoff win post-Tom Brady. Back in studio with the fellas to assess, and guys, this one sort of directs your eyes straight to the defense of the New England Patriots. Yep. This was the sort of reflection of the head coach that maybe you expected to see in this moment. It's sort of been an offensive first mind state throughout this season. In the absence of points in the first half here, it looked like a defense that was comfortable playing this type of game.
Yeah, both defenses actually were comfortable in the style of play when you talk about having the upper hand on each opposing offense, and we saw that play into the second half. But unfortunately for the Chargers, their offense couldn't generate anything. They played the entire game without a pulse. They were just a body. Eventually, we saw Drake Maye get things going, but I would like to highlight the Patriots defensively. Their front with their prize free agent signing, Milton Williams came through and he delivered in a big time. And that's why you spend the money that you spend to have these said players show up in the more critical moments of your season. And right now is the critical moment for the New England Patriots. Milton Williams was outstanding. Kayvon Chasen was outstanding. They harassed Justin Herbert from start to finish. And one thing I tell you this much about Justin Herbert, you will never question his toughness because he never wavered. He got hit, he got kicked, he got beat up, and he kept getting up trying to fight. But unfortunately, the offensive line woes showed up once again. Remember, we talked about the 29 different O-line combinations they had to endure throughout this season because of the injuries. Well, oftentimes when you have those said problems in playoff football, those problems become bigger. And they were bigger tonight. And unfortunately, the Patriots knew the moment to exploit, and they exploited those moments for an entire ball game.
Defensively, what did they show Justin Herbert other than pressure in his face? It felt like even when he tried to get to quick game, it just wasn't there tonight.
Yeah, for the Patriots defense, they was just clicking on all cylinders. They played rushing coverage very, very well all night tonight. The defensive line did a great job of harassing Justin Herbert. It was one point in that ball game in the second half. Justin Herbert was one of seven for 0 yards.
Yeah.
And that's not winning football. When he's not playing efficient football and the running game was not there as well, these are the type of results that you get. And the Patriots do a really, really good job of exploring what you don't do very well. We talked about the strength of their schedule this year. Yes, they didn't play a really, really tough schedule, but they beat those teams convincingly. And they won on special teams, offense and defense, and they did the same thing here tonight.
It's a convincing win against a solid group in the Chargers that had their own injury attrition on the offensive side of the ball. But you look at the defensive side of the ball, they tried to keep them in this game. I only offer that, JJ, because this is the type of game that both of these head coaches don't mind playing. What does it say that you have a Mike Vrabel-led team in year one outplaying a Harbaugh team in year two?
Well, and it goes back to BMAC's point that ultimately the Chargers' offense isn't enough, right? Because this was a nice heavyweight bout between two really good defenses. Drake Maye had one very good throw. Did he have another one in there? Like, I mean, how many throws did Drake Maye really, truly make where it's like, oh, that's the one that beat this team? If you take away that touchdown pass, right, this is a one-possession game all the way down to the end. Now, that is not indicative of how much the New England Patriots did control this game, right? The defense for New England did control this game. The offense for New England, they were clearly the better football team out there. They were the more talented team. Their quarterback played better and was less under siege. There's no doubt about all of those things. But if you take away two good plays by the New England Patriots, you come away with a one-possession victory for New England.
And even think about the play before halftime, what Drake Maye took off and was like a 35-yard scramble to get that field goal before halftime.
There you go. Those are the two plays right there.
Added 66 yards with his legs on 10 attempts. So his presence felt across this box score, and you really can't scoff at 17 to 29 for 268, a touchdown and an interception in a playoff debut. Drake Maye becomes the youngest ever starting quarterback for the New England Patriots to win a playoff game, betters Brady by a year, 23 years old. It's a moment here for Maye, but maybe not the performance that he would have liked or the one that matched what we saw at that MVP caliber throughout the season. What did you see in the performance? Because, again, those numbers in your playoff debut, I tip my cap once again. We've set lofty expectation of Drake Maye. How do you grade him out here today?
I give him, of course, a passing grade, but was it the MVP-like performances that we've seen from him the entire season? No, because he played against some really really good team. Jesse Minter has been a highly respected defensive coach since day one, and he had his guys ready. One thing I would advise for Drake Maye, the internal clock in the pocket has to go off at some point in time. He kind of held the football to the 25th hour. You know what I mean? You got to get rid of the football because that allows those defenders to search the football, and we saw that. And also, outside of that, when you look at Drake Maye, he learned to take what the defense was giving him, and that's okay when your defense is playing to the level that they played today. And he was under siege a lot. They sacked him 5 times.
Right.
So it wasn't like his offensive line played that much better than the Chargers. And Will Campbell, he had a growing moment in this ball game.
Coming back from IR.
Coming back from IR, you're playing against a guy like Khalil Mack, one of the more experienced pass rushers and stronger pass rushers that you will see. He was having some success against Will Campbell. So this was a learning experience for guys like Will Campbell, for guys like Drake Maye. But in a learning experience, if you're telling me you still win ball games, you're a very, very talented team. And the luxury they will have also, the very next game is there in their backyard.
Yeah.
So that's another opportunity for them to continue to grow while being in a great position, playing at home to win another playoff game.
I hate to break it to the left side of that line. There's problems no matter if it's Pittsburgh or Houston coming your way if you're Campbell. So you better get up to speed here quickly because there will be speed off that edge. We do get the Bills and the Broncos as a result of this outcome as well. Taking a look at Herbert's playoff record. This one felt like we almost knew the story going into the game and going into the week. He's been trying to do more with less for the better part of this season as his tackles have gone down. There's been attrition all over this team. You're looking at the numbers, and the numbers are the numbers. 0-3, 54.7 completion percentage. Touchdown to turnover, it's not where you want it. Second half numbers getting outscored massively, not pictured here on this graphic. I mean, how much can we lay at the feet of Justin Herbert after this one, Jonathan Jones?
I mean, if you're talking about it in totality, right, I think that you have to lay a decent amount of it at the feet of Justin Herbert because we do talk about him as a top 5, top 6, top 7 quarterback in the NFL, right? And I don't want this to be the excuse train for Justin Herbert, okay? Because the first time he makes it to the postseason, the Chargers chargered against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they shouldn't have lost that game. And maybe if he could have done a little bit more in the second half, but really it's more on the defense, it's more on the coaching staff, they lose that game. He comes out against the Houston Texans, and he has one of the worst playoff performances by a quarterback this side of Jake Delhomme against the Arizona Cardinals in 2008, right? And then this game, there was all the attrition this season. It was bound to catch up to him. Credit to the Chargers for even making the postseason. But he still got sacked, 6 times tonight? So I don't put this game in particular, this 60 minutes, at the feet of Justin Herbert, this result. However, what I am not willing to do is over the span of 3 playoff games, over the span of 5 NFL seasons now, say that, it's forces outside of Justin Herbert's control that has led to him being winless in the postseason in his career.
They are just numbers that do not help the total work sample, Mac. I mean, you're hoping for the best. You're almost expecting what we saw here for Herbert. Maybe not 3 points, but playing with a broken hand, downed his tackles. What do you make of, and I know you already pointed out the grit, the toughness, but his ability in this game?
It was tough, man. It was hard because it felt like he was playing against 2 defenses. That's what it felt like. And to JJ's point, now another playoff loss adds to his playoff resume. And unfortunately for him, I felt like if he had a healthier offensive line, he would have performed better. But then we look at how us as fans, how we not only grade quarterbacks, highly paid quarterbacks, but also how we analyze them. If this was Dak Prescott, would we make any excuse for Dak Prescott, right? If this was Sam Darnold, would we make any excuse for Sam Darnold? You know what I mean? So now it's like you still got to find a way to get it done. And we kind of we alluded to this same criteria with Josh Allen coming into the Jaguar game. Like, regardless of what's going on around you, the pass catches, the lack thereof, and the whatever, you got to find a way to get it done. And if you don't get it done, though, Joe, right, are you competitive enough? That's the thing.
That's a great point.
And how much of that, when you bring up the comparison point of a Dak Prescott or a Sam Darnold, not that their entire potential has been realized, but it feels like there is untapped still for Justin Herbert, whether that's his own performances or the performances around him to get to the next level. How much of that benefit of the doubt is because we know there is a level he has not yet accompanied?
I think that plays a major factor in how we look at Justin Herbert and why we give him grace also in moments where other quarterbacks wouldn't get that same grace.
Yeah.
Because if, like I said, this was the hypothetical, this was another quarterback, we would the football world in terms of criticism would have showered down like a rainstorm. But because of the potential and the athleticism and just the skillfulness he has, we give him grace. But at some point in time, you have to find a way to get it done. The previous two playoff moments you laid out, Jacksonville, Houston, losses in a not dramatic way, but in a horrible way.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah. Well, Houston was on him.
Yeah.
Houston was on him. Right? Yeah. 4 or 5 or turnovers and all those things. I'm not willing to put this game in the same category as that one. That is not the case. But yeah, when your team, when you are the only person, when you are very clearly the MVP and there's not a close second on your team, you can't be going 1 of 7 for 0 yards for most of the second half.
And think about it like this, guys. His defense played good enough. Even though their offense was so bad, his defense played good enough.
Kept him in the game.
Kept him in the game. So we don't need you to put your cape on. We just need you to manage the situation and win the field position battle. Because for 3/4 of this ball game, it was all about field goals.
Yes.
It was all about field goals. So to answer your question, unfortunately, this loss is on Justin Herbert in terms of his playoff resume. I felt like if his line was to be healthier, he would have been better. But